father died alone early on an August morning. I was told that they found him in the backyard in the process of chopping down a small elm tree. A damn heart attack got him. The woman who called me from the hospital was gentle, even compassionate. I guess she figured the news would upset me. She seemed surprised when I sighed and asked if there was anything I needed to do. I didn't realize that my dad had me listed as an emergency contact. It didn't seem fair that I didn't have a say in the matter. I received another unexpected call a few days later. This time it was from my dad's lawyer. It turned out my father left me his house, 6 acres in the country, and nearly $250,000. The man who used to beat me if I got a C on my report card left me all of his worldly possessions. I guess I was all he had. Can I say no? I asked the lawyer. Of course, but you should see the house first and the art collection. At the very least, you can sell everything and be done with it, if that's what you want to do. So I visited the home my father left me. Inside of the house was an attic, and inside of the attic was a collection of paintings. There were watercolors and oils and acrylics, portraits of kings and carpenters and old women with folded hands, landscapes, vivid forest and bright oil, so real you can almost hear the birds. My favorite painting was of a girl by the ocean. Her hair was like sunshine and her white dress tangled with the wind. She faced away from the artist towards the water. There was only one painting I avoided. It stood in the corner of the room on a white easel covered with a black cloth. I only looked under the covering once. It was a portrait of my father, but more terrible than he had ever been in life. The thing in the painting resembled my father in the same way a drowned corpse resembles the life that once animated the body. His skin was swallow, the teeth were cracked, pale black veins twisting across a bare scalp. The artist must have feared my father. I could see no other reason the painter would have left the portrait with such a ravenous expression of hate. One look behind the curtain was enough for me. I left that portrait in its corner. Other than that piece of rot though, the collection as a whole was a miracle. I spent so many rainy afternoons and cold mornings in the attic, among the pictures that it was immediately obvious to me when the subjects began to move. It was subtle. At first, eyes might shift in a portrait. A tree would rustle against an acrylic breeze. The girl on the beach was turning a degree or two each day. I was terrified the first night that I heard movement from the attic. I can hear them. It lasted all night and I sat there and listened, too frozen by fear to flee the house. In the morning after the sun was high, I crept up the stairs into the attic. Armed with a flashlight and the largest knife I could find in the kitchen, both the light and the knife fell from the numb fingers when I saw that every painting had changed. This wasn't just the shifting of a scene by a few angles. It was like seeing new pictures but each were familiar subjects. After this encounter, the night sounds continued regularly from then on. I wasn't so afraid after the first time though, and greeted each morning with a trip into the attic to see the progress of my guest. Roommates? It was a long night in October when I finally saw the face of the girl in the painting. I'd gone up to the attic with a candle after dinner to check on the progress of the paintings. In my dreams, they came fully to life and enjoying me, or perhaps even better, allowed me to join them in the kaleidoscope worlds. The girl on the beach was facing me that night. Her hand was raised slightly as if in greeting. Everything changed last night. The noises began just after sundown, and they were unlike any I'd ever heard before. I hear them now. What is that noise? Oh my God. What is being dragged? Or is that a ripping sound? It's been hours and it won't stop. It's about midnight. I think I just heard a scream. Though I once again felt pinned to my bed by fear, I decided I could not wait until morning to see how the paintings had changed. I worked up the courage to climb the stairs at 3 a.m. Once I opened the door to the attic, my eyes found a massacre. All the beautiful paintings were torn as if by animals. The canvas hung in wet tatters, frames were smashed, and everywhere violence. Only the painting of the girl on the beach was undamaged, but to my horror, it was changed. The girl lay dead on the red-stained sand, her eyes blank and throat ripped open. I just heard a brittle creak from the corner of the room. It took me a moment to realize that it was laughter, and it came from behind the black curtain that covered my father's portrait.